We do have some breaking news that we want to go to right now. Live out in Los Angeles, police chase is underway. Let's show this to you, and we'll also get the coverage from Fox 11 Los Angeles in just moments as well. But an active chase going on right now. It looks like they could possibly try for a pit maneuver there, but going too fast right now. Right now, the suspect alleged assault. So here we go. With a deadly weapon here. So we are learning that the alleged suspect wanted for assault with a deadly weapon. And right now we are following this for you, as we always do on Live Now from Fox High Above. We are showcasing this. And again, this suspect continuing now to go through the streets here in the Los Angeles area. Breaking news happening at this hour. We'll continue to take a look at it here for you while we do have the feed. And again, Sky Fox up high above here as the suspect now just going through this neighborhood right now and going into the middle of the roadways here. And we always have to worry when they go, through these intersections. They're not taking they're a lot of times trying to run through these red lights, trying to stop at these continued rolling stops. So what we have here for you is more coverage on Live Now from Fox. We always try to look for these types of breaking news events right now. Suspect continues to lead police here on this chase. And we are bringing it to you worldwide on Live Now from Fox, everyone. Again, we try to bring you these events from the beginning until the end. And we're hoping that eventually that this suspect is going to come to grips here and understand that it's going to be very difficult to get out of this situation. And rather than try to hurt someone else or hurt themselves, it'd be better just to pull over right now. But that is not the case. We did see earlier, though, police were following closely the suspects. Looks like they pulled away a little bit. He was getting very erratic, the driver, so maybe that is a way to calm that situation up just a little bit as well. But again, these chases do happen, and when they do, we say, okay, do we have the feed? They say, yes, we do. We take it to you here on Live Now from Fox, just like that. That is one of the unique things about us. That's what we really, really love here. Okay, now the suspect getting onto oncoming traffic, now darting back in. They got the red light there, so what's he going to do is he's going to try to, oh boy. Okay, so it always gets dicey here when they, look at that, just narrowly almost clipping that one vehicle. And now the chase does continue. And again, like I was just talking about, you don't know what they're going to do, especially when they come up to these red lights. Are they going to try to get through them? And now we're getting closer to rush hour still. Just past 3 o'clock there on the West Coast. So not getting super close to the rush hour. But again, they're going through these major neighborhoods right now. And you got to worry about kids coming home from school and just families being out and about here. But again, suspect does not care what the situation is. They're just trying to get to freedom. And I always say, hey, they're just trying to extend their moments of freedom. They know what is ultimately going to happen, right? They know that deep down they are going to get caught here, but they know, hey, if I could just extend it just a little bit more, that's the best case scenario for them. Going about 60 miles per hour now in the middle of these lanes, sometimes the median, and really tightening in on those brakes to make this left here again. And we continue to follow along for you on Live Now from Fox. Sky Fox, again, showcasing these images for you. Again, the suspect wanted for assault with a deadly weapon. And we saw earlier when we first came on with you with this breaker that there was police following close by. They have since, okay, now they are coming back a little bit closer here. We'll see how they are going to deal with this person. Remember, they try to do the pit maneuvers at around 30 miles per hour. They don't want to go any faster than that because that's when it could put risk for others. So let's see what this police officer is going to try to do. Looks like he's going to try it. If he could get just a little bit there. Oh, just pulled away. The suspect saw what he was trying to do. There it is, pit maneuver, and it happened. Great. Here we go. Now we'll see what happens. Turned around the suspect. They got him cornered, and now we have viewer discretion is heavily advised here. Guns are drawn, but wow, what a textbook play that was. And now these are always the scary parts because you just hope that the suspect is going to follow the commands there of the police. But once again, we thought it might happen there with that pit maneuver, and it was textbook. So now the car is up. What we'll do, too, is once this wraps up, we'll play the moment of this takedown because, yeah, it was. Let's see now. Suspect still has not gotten out of the vehicle just yet either. Looks like to still be talking with police. Got one foot on the ground there. The other foot still in the vehicle. Still talking to police here. We'll see how they want to get this suspect out of the car here. And again, when they're dealing with somebody with assault with a deadly weapon accused of, they really have to amplify the way they go about things because you just don't know what this person might do next. Suspect still and not coming out. You see his foot right there, his car door blocking what we can't see right now. And with the tint there, making it harder for the police even to see what this suspect may be doing inside the vehicle here. But guns are drawn. We have the police here right outside of this suspect's vehicle, and we are just waiting after this, just an expert pinned maneuver by the police there. And it was setting up to be that way. The cruiser came in and turned this suspect around there, so much so that they had him cornered. And if you're just joining us here on Live Now from Fox, we had the police chase going for about the last 5 minutes here. And we were seeing this suspect go through these neighborhoods, and now waiting to see just how long the standoff might happen here as police, again, with their guns drawn, trying to make the demands to the suspect to get out in the way that they want him to get out. But as you can see right now, suspect not following those commands right now. And again, we always got you covered here on Live Now from Fox with these breaking news. Again, this is about 30 miles northwest of downtown Los Angeles. And now police continue to have this guy cornered here, waiting to see what the next moments are. Remember when I was talking about earlier, I was saying that so many times, it looks like now that the suspect may be on the phone. It looked like for a moment there. And we'll see if, but it looks like he's talking to the police as well. Okay, maybe not on the phone there. I see the other arm now as he's talking to the police. Yeah, we got the other hand there. So they want to make sure that there's no weapons on this individual before they get the suspect out of the car here. But again, a standoff now active out here in Southern California right now. Viewer discretion always advised, as this, you are watching this live, raw, and unfiltered right now. And what a moment this is here, where I was just talking about earlier, saying so many times these suspects try to just extend their moments of freedom. And once again, we are, okay, looks like maybe the suspect was going to close the door. But I was just talking about how extending those moments of freedom, and it looks like they continue to try to extend it right now. Okay, now the door is closed. It almost looks like if the driver thinks he could simply put it in drive and get out of here. That's not going to be the case. All right, now this, oh, look at this now. This is different. We have the suspect now reversing. It looks like he wants to get out of here. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Viewer discretion heavily advised right now, as this chase is back on. The chase is back on. We are going to now take it to Fox 11 Los Angeles with their coverage. Viewer discretion advised will continue. Let's take it to their coverage now.
And you don't know, though, how disabled this vehicle is from that pit maneuver. Obviously, well enough to be going down the road at least a slow speed here. You might wonder why officers did not get the vehicle perhaps into the back area to prevent this vehicle from doing what it did, going into reverse, taking off, and starting pursuit all over again. Okay, I'm not going to question tactics, because LAPD very well trained in pursuits, perhaps for the safety of the officers and control of the officers and line of fire should there be any kind of shooting. You don't want to have somebody caught in that crossfire. That's law enforcement. Anyway, you have the pursuit back on here. It's a slow crawl, which makes me think this vehicle may not be in very good shape, or this driver in very good shape. It's alarming, I'm sure, to be in the middle of a pit maneuver, to be hit by law enforcement. That's the closest look we've seen of that driver. Right there, that tight shot right there, looks to me like a fairly young male from this shot here. Again, this is a suspect wanted for assault with a deadly weapon, a knife. The victim able to communicate with police. We're told even being able to perhaps lead police to this vehicle. And now we have this pursuit continuing. Again, this driver had been going at speeds up to 60 and 70 miles per hour. So I wonder, has the vehicle been disabled? Perhaps they were able to do some kind of spike strip in some fashion. That would be my hope. Hadn't heard that, but I'm just guessing that if that created some kind of damage to any kind of tires, or perhaps with the pit itself, it did some damage to the car. Looks like we are in a residential area. The speeds here, 15 miles an hour, give or take. Chatsworth area. Again, this driver has been on these major surface streets going 60 and 70 miles per hour. So let's just take a breath here. Here we go. Another pit effort. Ooh, just missed him. Gonna go in again. LAPD there, right there. Obviously, the big concern, the speed bump there, are pedestrians, people walking down the street here at a little after 3:15. Kids coming home from school, neighbors walking their dogs. Obviously, this officer feels okay, that driver, they're able to close the gap there where there wasn't enough space. Okay, now we're here on a oh wow, traffic the wrong direction. We've seen this before. That is what's terrifying about this driver. The driver has gone in the wrong lanes before, now back in the right lane. LAPD not messing around here. They want to end this. They want to end this. Oh, that pit didn't work as well. Okay, so this is one of many attempts in which they've tried to do a pit maneuver, one very successful, and we saw right here on Live Fox 11, that driver able to put the car into reverse. Okay, that vehicle not disabled. Look at those speeds there. Back up to probably normal speeds for that surface street there, up to 40 miles per hour there. You see a lot of traffic there now, because we're going to be coming up on rush hour, where, you know, if you live in LA, you know, come 3:30, the streets start to get busier. But let's take a look here to see what this driver is doing. Perhaps the driver was rattled by the pit maneuver and had to gather his thoughts. Who knows if he might have been a little injured in that. Wait, is he pulling over? Is the driver bringing this to an end himself? Or is the car disabled? That's bizarre to see this driver. Okay, tree, get out of the way, tree. Hard to see here with that tree as to what's happening. LAPD there on the left, their doors are open, their vehicles are stopped. You see several units there, probably issuing commands yet again for that driver to get out of the car. What looked to me, that driver pulled the vehicle over to the side of the road, now boxed himself in with the other car there, and LAPD right behind him. It'd be harder to try to get back onto the street and continue pursuit. Looks like this driver wants to end this because did not leave himself a lot of room to create an escape. Again, don't know if perhaps the driver hurt himself with the pit. Strange maneuvers there, strange action there by the driver in the vehicle. Talking to somebody, gesturing to himself, not sure. On the cell phone with somebody, not sure. Looks like he is agitated in some way. Looks like he's communicating in some way, or again, talking to himself. So here we are in Chatsworth. I want to say end of a pursuit, but let's just take a second here and just watch, see what happens here. LAPD, for their own safety, not moving in. They have been told that this is a suspect, assault with a deadly weapon suspect who had a knife. It might just be a waiting game here now for a minute as this driver decides what the next move is going to be. Remember, at that last pit maneuver that was very effective, that driver had the door open and a foot out, but clearly not ready to comply. LAPD wants those keys tossed to the ground, out of the vehicle, because you saw what could happen. I mean, now there is room for that driver to put that car into reverse a little bit and pull forward and continue this pursuit. This by no means is over, even though it would appear that the vehicle is blocked in. Officer safety, first and foremost. There we go, door open. Okay, perhaps this driver is saying, I'm done, it's over. Let's keep a watch here. Or just a waiting game. So because LAPD knows who the victim is, and they've been on this pursuit for a while, I'm wondering if they know who the suspect is. Does this person have a criminal track record? Do they know the name of this person? We're not hearing this was a stolen vehicle. Are they in communication with family? Is the victim somebody this person knew? Is it domestic? Is it family? These are questions that we don't have the information. LAPD may have the information. Who knows when that person appeared to be talking? Could it be a phone call with family? Could it have been a phone call with a negotiator from the LAPD? Not sure. All right. Okay. We're hearing now from CNS, City News Service, that police are saying 2 of the SUV tires appear to be flat. So I'm thinking they were able to deploy a spike strip in some fashion, which means harder to drive the vehicle. Perhaps that driver was sensing a loss of control of the vehicle as well, but 2 flat tires does help bring this more to a close. Wide shot there. All right, so Chatsworth here looks like a much more industrial or office space type of complex area versus residential. So anybody who works in this area advised to keep your doors locked in case the suspect makes a run for it, to stay indoors and allow police to do their work. The good news here, there's not a home nearby. You don't see children walking home from school nearby. LAPD can just sit and wait this out for a long time. We've seen them bring other pursuits to an end in different ways. We've seen Bearcats come in and block in a vehicle. So really the suspect, it's that show of force where the suspect is thinking there's no way out. They have the dogs. They could always send in the dog in something like this. Again, this suspect is said to have a knife. That's a deadly weapon. So with that, perhaps a dog isn't your best source for police activity right now for bringing this to a close, because you don't want the dog to get hurt. So we're just going to sit here and see if this driver is willing to listen to the commands of the officers. You can imagine that they are shouting commands to step out of the vehicle, of course, to show your hands. Hard to tell the age of this driver. The street is near Cozy Croft Avenue and Plummer Street in Chatsworth. This could be a very long night. LAPD wanting to bring this to an end safely. You have to feel for everybody in those office buildings nearby. That means they may not be going anywhere just yet. LAPD wants to keep the area clear. Again, we've not heard of any other weapon besides a knife tied to this suspect, but you don't know the extent to which this person is wanting to get away or wanting to cause themselves harm. Again, don't know if this driver intentionally pulled behind this car or because the vehicle has flat tires, 2 of them, according to City News Service, that this was the best way to just pull over. Looks like the driver's staying hydrated there, taking a drink there, but no effort to come out, which often makes you wonder, is there some kind of mental distress there? Okay, the driver looking back, communicating in some fashion with the negotiators there, with the LAPD. They're, of course, issuing commands to come out of the vehicle, and I'm guessing toss those keys out of the vehicle. Of course, show the hands, given that this is considered a suspect with a knife. What the holdup here is, not sure if this suspect is under some kind of influence. The driving wasn't crazy erratic. It was fairly safe driving, besides going into the wrong direction of traffic from time to time. But for whatever reason, this suspect is not wanting this day to come to an end just yet. Don't know if this person has prior record in which they know the story of being in jail and perhaps in prison. So they're just delaying this moment of freedom for as long as they can. Looks like there's some kind of acknowledgement, if not communication, back and forth there. Again, we have seen LAPD use other weapons, such as non-lethal shots fired into a vehicle, gas fired into a vehicle, which has a suspect often coming out quite quickly. I think they are trying to negotiate with this person, knowing that, look at the shadow of the guns drawn, look at the shadow there. Knowing that the area is pretty clear of any kind of pedestrian traffic, as long as those people stay inside those office buildings. It doesn't look like an overly busy street in which you have a lot of street traffic that would be trying to come through. Looks like this is a fairly controlled part of town, fairly controlled section, fairly controlled stop here. So for LAPD, it seems like this is, this is their situation well handled. Now, the actions of the suspect are what determines what happens next. So, Sky Fox right here overhead in the Chatsworth area, as we sit and wait, again, more communication, more negotiation by LAPD to bring this peacefully to a resolution. The suspect has to know he's leaving in handcuffs. The suspect has to know an arrest is going to happen. If there was an assault with a deadly weapon and the victim led police to this suspect, then the suspect knows what happened. So we will sit and wait this out with you. It's one of those things where we cover so many pursuits and we wait for them to come to an end, and sometimes they can be longer in process than shorter. Of course, President Trump is speaking tonight. We'll carry that here on Fox 11 at 6. We have our newscast at 5. Okay, more action? Slightly. Not really. Okay. 1 foot out. We've seen this before where there's been 1 foot out the door. No matter the circumstances here, it's got to be a terrifying experience to have that amount of law enforcement with guns aimed at you. The average person, you think, would readily comply and readily want to end this. But this suspect obviously is having some troubles today and not wanting to be taken into custody. And who knows the circumstances behind this assault with a deadly weapon. Again, we don't know if it was a family member, a random victim, an innocent person that's caught up in something. We don't know the story. But LAPD may know exactly who this person is. Again, more communication here. Because they've been in touch with the victim, they may know exactly who they're dealing with. They may have had encounters with this person before. There may be an arrest record. There may have been calls to this location before. A lot of things that we're not privy to right now, but LAPD obviously has the information before them. So as the suspect took a drink, I'm going to take a drink here, and we just sit and kind of wait this out for a moment. I said wait this out for a moment. We could be here hours upon hours. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Some action here. All right. So the suspect now is out of the vehicle reluctantly. This is coming to an end one way or another. Police want to make sure they can see the hands of this suspect. They're going to ask him to step away from the vehicle. I haven't seen any keys tossed out and away to let them know that he's not going to jump back in and try to floor that vehicle into reverse or pull forward. Okay, he's moving away from the vehicle. Hands up. There you go. All right, suspect's going to comply here. Looks like LAPD can perhaps get this person probably on their knees, on the ground, just for a little bit more safety. It's a young person. This person looks fairly strong and healthy. Could make a run for it, could hurt an officer. There you go. They're going to bring him to the ground. It's not overly hot out, so that pavement isn't scorchingly hot like we have on some summer days. So they might even have that suspect lay down. That's right. Put those hands out, feet crossed, so it's not so easy to get up. Again, this is a young, fit person here, so that comes into play when officers decide to make their moves, as they do, with their guns drawn. So as long as the suspect complies, LAPD can move in and make this arrest. Okay, they're checking the vehicle first to make sure there's nobody else in the vehicle. There's no other threat to police. Looks like this suspect has decided this day is over, this pursuit is over. We are again in the Chatsworth area. This is an industrial type complex, it looks like, or an office space area. And there are vehicles there, so people are probably looking out their window right now. There you go, LAPD moving in right now. Those officers there. Safety first in mind. They have their guns drawn there. They did not again send in the dog. Again, if this is the person with a knife, we've all heard of dogs getting hurt by somebody with a knife, so they did not use that tactic. And there you go. Suspect is now in custody here. Our thoughts are, of course, with the victim, who this started as an assault with a deadly weapon. Don't know if there were any injuries or what happened with that victim, but apparently they were able to follow this person and perhaps lead police to this pursuit and lead this to an end. And there you go. And that's exactly, not sure what's on the ground there. Is that a knife? Is that a car key? And I'm not sure what that is, and I don't remember seeing anything thrown out, but they're picking that up as evidence. Okay, so whatever that is, police want that as evidence.
All right, everyone, you were watching the coverage there, Fox 11, as that takedown happened with the suspect, and now under arrest here. I'll give you a live look here of the aftermath of this police chase and the great work by the police to get this suspect now under arrest. So nothing more major happened here. But before we go to our 2-minute break here on Live Now from Fox 2, I want to show you how the takedown happened for the first pit maneuver. Take a look just moments ago as the suspect was rolling on, and look at how this police officer took this pit maneuver into high gear. Boom, right there, and then putting that suspect backwards. But then there would be a standoff, and then that suspect said, I'm just going to reverse for a little bit, and the chase went on for a couple of more moments until ultimately it all came to an end here.